Guys, welcome back. We are extremely profitable. Every single call we made is 100% accurate. So let's just go straight into it. I was taking a look at these charts before, and we're just gonna go over everything. I've been saving a lot of people a lot of money. Somebody asked me yesterday if they should sell, and I said, of course not. And then we broke all-time highs again. And this happens all the time. People are like, should I just long it? And there's like no trading channels or anything. There's no patterns. And I'm like, no, don't long it. And then the price breaks down. So anyways, yeah, we save a lot of people a lot of money. All right, so obviously we're looking at these levels right here. If you remember from yesterday with the double top, we'll get into that later. I want to look at ETH. I have some charts that we drew yesterday, which I was actually freaking out. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and I was trading in Buffalo Wild Wings, and we actually hit our price targets exactly as predicted. So stupid. I love Carl. Like he really is. He deserves all the clout, but. So we drew this right here, and I showed you guys this perfect risk to reward ratio, and yeah, we absolutely demolished it. Hit it exactly, and then now we're consolidating after we hit it on ETH, which was exactly as predicted. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Oh, am I on the hourly chart? So yeah, I told you guys we were gonna have some resistance up here, and we did. I've been calling like every single top, every single bottom, and then we have like 5 people subbing to the channel. That's why it's the most underrated channel on the entire internet by far. Um, it's just been ridiculous how accurate this TA has been. But really, I was talking to some people this morning about this. Some people were texting me. A lot of people hit me up. They're like, "Can you teach me crypto?" And I just don't have time, so that's why I started this channel to begin with. But so look at that long signal. I was freaking out last night because I'm like, I wish I would have saw that on Market Cipher. But so we're in an uptrend right now. Uptrends validated. We broke all-time highs again. So everybody I get so many comments. Should I sell? Should I sell? I get this so much, and it's so just ridiculous. If you don't know when to buy or sell, you have to sub to this channel. It is absolutely mandatory, or you will lose money. Because it's like I always use the gold argument. If I was to hand you this piece of gold and you don't know what it's worth, you don't know when to buy it, you don't know when to sell it, you're absolutely screwed. And really, you shouldn't be involving yourself in these markets to begin with. But I mean, if you come to a money machine that's calling every single top and every single bottom, then we might be able to help you out, and you might be able to learn along the way, which would be huge. So people always ask me, they say like, where should I learn TA? Where should I do this, that? I said this channel is honestly probably the best place for you to learn TA. I'm not even shilling. It literally just is probably the best place for you to learn technical analysis. Because we go over a lot of stuff that most channels don't go over. Bitcoin dominance. So it looks like we might have a top off on total. Take a look at total. Yeah, exactly as predicted. So I always tell people this, and because like I said, like everybody wants to talk to me about cryptocurrency. I get text messages all the time. That's why I started this channel to begin with. And what I've been telling people recently is, I want to look at this. I want to look at total crypto market cap. If this keeps going up, the more and more this keeps going up, the more and more everybody wins. The more and more alts will pump. The more and more Bitcoin will pump. If there's constantly new money flowing into the space. And we just broke all-time highs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours ago. So incredibly bullish. We're in an uptrend. Usually, like I say all the time, what you look for is you look for this area right here. When we're incredibly bullish, we'll usually hit this line. you see this line right here, we'll constantly find support on it. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not even going to count all those, but obviously it constantly hits that line. So potentially hitting the line and then bouncing higher. And it looks like that could be possibly what we're doing right now. And the fact that we wicked right here and these are still extremely bullish. It looks like we're just consolidating before moving higher, because that is a doji. Alright, so in my opinion, that's one of the most important things to look at, which is why I'm covering it on the channel, and a lot of people don't cover it on the channel, or they take forever to cover it on the channel, and then we cover it first. I think BitBoy just talked about market BTC.D Bitcoin dominance for the first time on his channel this morning, and we cover that all the time. Like I said, we're like the bigger channels, but we cover a lot more. We're right more than they are, and on top of that, it's just insane. So I'm not even saying that we're better than them, because I do like their channels, and I do, as far as assets go, like they're probably some of the best guys in the space, but in the finance space, but we just kind of sleep them with how accurate everything's been. So this is a BTC.D Bitcoin dominance long signal, and it looks like it was negated by this candlestick. Although you are finding hitting these moving averages right here, and then coming up for support. Either way, like I said, it doesn't matter as long as we're bullish on total crypto market cap, because what we look at with Bitcoin dominance is if it goes up, Bitcoin will do good, and if it goes down, alts will do good if there's only a certain amount of money in the market, because then it'll have to switch hands. It'll have to switch from, say, altcoins to Bitcoin, and that's really what this chart does. But when you have total market cap come in, when you have more and more money flowing into the space, then some money can go into Bitcoin, some money can go into the altcoins, and they can both pump simultaneously. So that's why we're covering everything. All right, let's take a look at some of our charts. So I actually was 100% accurate on Link. I called Link, then I called Uni, and oh my gosh, it's like if somebody like me is looking at the charts and saying, how are we not going higher? Obviously, we're gonna go higher. Boom shakalaka. So I think since I talked about Uni, I think it went up like 5 or something percent, or something like 8%. I don't remember exactly, but we've been doing really good, because this is on the hourly chart. So I probably talked about it a few hours ago, so you can see how well it's doing. I don't know if we have any consolidation patterns, but I was like, oh my, you guys heard me. You can go watch my videos, like my previous videos. I was like, I do not understand how Uniswap, and I gave the bullish and bearish argument, and I said, I get the gas fees. You can go watch that video on how bullish I was. Here's literally the double bottom that we drew. Exactly as predicted. Except he's not calling Uni. I'm calling Uni. So yeah, I mean, there was this triple bottom, and I was talking about it for the longest time, and actually, like, we were probably like about here. We called like just about the bottom. We were like right next to $19, $20, and then, oh baby, I was actually freaking out in where was I? I was at where was I? Let me go take a look at Link. But yeah, we killed that trade. Absolutely freaking murked it. I always say, if you don't have any opportunities, if you don't know what to buy, what to sell, sub to the channel and the opportunities will come, because I will bring them. And that's just absolute fact. But we just absolutely been killing everything. But this is looking really good on the charts. And then we're just looking at this right here, but it has broken above it multiple times, so this isn't entirely big concern. Oh, I was in Buffalo Wild Wings. I brought my laptop, and I was trading for like 4 hours in Buffalo Wild Wings with my friend, because we were getting wings, and I was just screaming. Like, I couldn't even control myself. I was just like screaming like multiple times, like, We hit some like Ethereum longs, we hit some Bitcoin longs. I just hit everything. Everything I told you guys on the channel, we hit. And I was just literally freaking out because of how accurate it was. And I was telling my friend, I'm like, how can anybody say anything to me? Not only did I call it, not only did I put money on it, but it's on my streams. Like, you can literally just go back and watch my stream, and every single thing I said, when I said the price was going to go up, it went up. When I said the price was going to go up a little bit, consolidate, and then go down, the price went up a little bit, consolidated, and went down. When I said the price was going to go up a little bit, do a little dance, and then go up a little bit more, it's just insane. I called up my mom because I hit that Ethereum long so hard. I literally called up my mom in Buffalo Wild Wings. And I'm like, Mom, I just hit like an 11% move on an 11 to 1 risk to reward ratio. I mean, we're just killing it. We're just absolutely killing it. But let's take another look at Link real quick. So yeah, Link's looking good. It looks like it's just basically consolidating in this uptrend right here. And like we said before, this was an absolutely massive level to cover it. So obviously we're covering it a bunch. And if you look at this line, we called the bottom. I said this was a good opportunity right here, and it was. If you get the opportunity, and then I'll talk about another thing in a second, but if you get the opportunity right here, you can't put a limit order in. People get mad at me. They're like, well, he said that if I don't understand Bitcoin, I shouldn't invest in it. Or he said that I shouldn't just be longing the crap out of Bitcoin 24/7. Whenever I give people, the truth, it hurts. But this is the truth. You cannot ever in good faith put a limit order on the support line, because like I said, and we're about to look at the ETH chart, and a bunch of people are going to get wrecked if they don't listen to how to test bullish support. But so the price action, if it comes down, you have to wait for it to test the area and bounce higher to test it as support. You can't put a limit order, because if the price action does fall through, then the trade's invalidated. All right, so let's take a real world example of that on ETH, because I'm sure a bunch of people were just getting absolutely murked last night. People are always getting murked in ETH because they're so opinionated. They don't look at the charts. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're just impatient on top of everything else. And so let me show you exactly how people just got murked last night, and what I told you exactly on this channel not to do. And if you did listen to me, you saved a lot of money. Potentially your whole bank account if you were longing it without a stop loss. Alright, so you can clearly see, and everybody's talking about this channel. We were, I believe, the first people to cover it, like probably on the internet, because I came up on this channel real quick, and I put this Fibonacci area, which has been extremely accurate, which you're not going to see anywhere else. But anyways, you see this channel right here, and what I said is, if we break out of this channel right here, it would be a potential long signal. But what you don't want to do, and I went over this a lot, and this would have saved a lot of people a lot of money if they would have listened. I said what you don't want to do is you don't want to have this price action come up, and then you don't want to put your limit order right here. You want to wait for a bounce, like we were just talking about on the other example. You want to wait for a bounce. If we get a bounce, and we get a 4-hour candlestick close, or at least a 1-hour candlestick close, we got neither of those, and it broke through this resistance area. So did I open up a trade right here? No, I didn't, because I knew exactly what I was doing. You have to see at least a 1 to 4 hour candlestick close, at the bare minimum 1, and then add your position at 4. And then you need to make sure that it's tested as support, because obviously it broke right through right here. So price action comes up, breaks down right here. Everybody's getting liquidated because they didn't follow the rules. They're not trading based off of technical analysis. They're basing their own opinions, like, oh, it's probably just gonna, well, according to technical analysis, it's pretty overextended because we had this pump right here. So, I mean, I hear story after story after story after story after story. Like, literally the entire crypto space is just a multitude of just plebes getting wrecked by longing Ethereum, and the only way to stop that is to sub to the channel. It's literally the only way to stop that from getting wrecked is to listen to me talk about Ethereum longs, because we've hit every single Ethereum long perfectly, and we actually made the price action before we got to the top of this channel, which was an absolutely massive opportunity. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. And that's all we're about, you know. It's like people are like, what should I do right now? And when I say wait, they're like, oh my God, you're saying I have to wait? And literally on this channel, we cover 3 to 4 different moves a day. So like, it's not even like you have to wait an entire day. It's like a few hours, and we're giving opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And so it just is, you know, ridiculous. Let's see. All right, so this is a very important area to be looking at. So, I mean, I love this chart right here. You see this hits the wick right here, comes back down. And we've been talking about this for a long time. So, you have this potential support area right here. You can't trade Bitcoin right now. Like, you can, but you'd be doing it wrong. Like, there's no technical analysis to trade on Bitcoin right now. It's in an uptrend, but it's not on a consolidation pattern. And so there's no real risk to reward ratio. So if you're trading Bitcoin right now, you're basically doing blackjack with possibly 2% in your favor. And that is not investing. And it would probably be more fun and less stressful to play blackjack. So definitely don't trade right now. That if you don't understand what that means, just don't trade right now. Because like you can bet on the price, and you can like literally bet on the price that it's going to go up, but that's a literal bet. And the reason that we've traded over almost $500,000 at this point in profits is because we don't bet. I don't think anybody has the win streak that I have just because I'm so conservative with my trades. Have there been people that have traded $500,000 in profit? Absolutely. Have they done that without losing a single penny? Probably not. A single penny, not a single Satoshi. All right, so anyways, we're looking at this area right here. So this would be a potential, because I told you guys, I'm like, this was really good. So like right here, like this right here, the pattern breaks out down. So obviously we're going to wait for the pattern to break out. It breaks out down. Obviously don't take the trade. Breaks above this area, rewarded for that. And then as soon as it breaks this line right here, this trend line, massive pump up to the upside. So really what we're looking at right now is we're looking at this ginormous. And then these are going to be some Fibonacci retracement targets, which we'll get to in a second. And I guess I got to go over stock to flow and stuff with you guys again, because people keep asking me if they should sell their Bitcoin. And if you're asking me, like, if you don't have an absolute game plan for every single second of every single trade of every single position that you're in, every single second, you have to sub to the channel, because that just means you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of these people don't want to get out of the space, even though they have no business, you know, trading something they have no clue about. So you literally have to sub to the channel if you know you want to save your money, because that's all I do is save people a massive amount of money and headaches. So we're in this channel right here, and basically we're looking for a break out of this channel. And if we get a break right here, again, we're not going to just buy the breakout. We're going to wait for the breakout, wait for hourly close, wait for volume. We're going to wait for all our good confirmations of the breakout, because we have to confirm the breakout so we don't get wrecked like all the plebes longing Ethereum. Don't take advice from Carl the Moon's channel. I used to joke about it so much on the channel, and like people are like telling me, I'm like, why? How would you think for any reason that you should be selling Bitcoin right now? And they're like, well, Carl the Moon, and I'm saying Carl the Moon doesn't say to sell Bitcoin right now. He's like, oh, they're Telegram. Talk about it all the time. It's a straight joke. A lot of these kids are straight buying Dogecoin. They have no clue what you're doing. You should never take advice from any of them. I mean, you can't say that this is financial advice, but so we'll just pretend that I'm not a financial expert, even though I have a better track score than all the hedge funds. So this is an 11 to 1% risk to reward ratio. This is absolutely massive. And we'll be looking to take this trade potentially as we get there. When will we get there? It looks like if we go off of this pattern right here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So potentially like 2 or 3 days possibly for this massive trade up to this Fibonacci extension level. And you might be saying 2 or 3 days. But this is one of the biggest opportunities right now in the space, and we'll have a lot of other opportunities on top of that. But like, why? Well, I mean, you can't trade it right now, so you literally have to. There's only really two options. You can. Let's see, put a long position in right here. Technically, you could do this, but you don't have another support level, so it's not really optimal. But like I said, I gotta show up for the degens because there's so many degens in crypto that just are like, I need $1 million right now and I only have $20. Well, I'll see what I can do for you. So you could, and that's not even a joke. That's not even me being mean. That's literally what I see all the time from everybody in the space. So if we hit this area right here, you could potentially, if this area gets hit as support, if we do hit this lower area right here, you would have to wait for it to hit this support area and then come back up, and you could potentially long it with a tight stop loss. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend not being a degenerate and waiting a second. 3 days is not a long time. 2 days is not a long time for like one of the biggest Bitcoin trades that most of these channels won't give for like a month. The risk to reward ratio on this is just insanely optimal. And then you have this Fibonacci target. I'm going to pull up another chart so we can really start going over Fibonacci targets, because our Fibonacci targets have been like, we've been calling this price action like hitting it. And really what that just shows me is that, you know, if we have these accurate Fibonacci channels like what I've been talking about. So yeah, I have them pulled up right here. So if we've been hitting these price targets, if the price actually went above it, but we did hit this, consolidated at this level, you can kind of see it right there. And now we're just moving higher. So we broke that target that we had right there. And these charts are just looking so ridiculously good. I mean, imagine hitting that long position from this consolidation triangle. Oh my gosh. See that perfect trend line breaks, comes down. Oh my gosh. It's just so sexy. All right. So this would be a possible target right here at 60,236. Again, we don't have anything that you can, I mean, you could, like I said, you can trade it right here and you have a 50-50% risk reward ratio, which is like 2% better than blackjack. But really what you're looking at right here is our price target, and then potentially all this shows us is that if we do come up here, because we are in an uptrend, the only thing is as we continue to consolidate, bearish divergences are likely to occur as we continue to consolidate. RSI divergences are a possibility. So like I said, you literally have approximately, you're not going to see any golden crosses. I was already checking the moving averages this morning. I was already checking the EMAs this morning. And so it's literally like you know, we could consolidate, we could go up, and we could come down and find support. Potentially longing from a support area would give you a better risk to reward ratio, but nothing that would be worth trading, like as far as statistics go. Like I said, we really only trade like based off of real TA. And so, like I said, no opportunities right here. Risk to, like, it's basically just a hold right here. Because when you look at the stock to flow, and I got to bring up the stock to flow and all this stuff, this is like basic, and a lot of different guys are covering this, but I guess it's not prominent enough in the space because people keep asking me if they should sell right now. So when you look at the price action right here, we're still in this green area right here, very clearly in the green area right here. So we still have a long way to go up on the heat map. We're going to take that out and then zoom in. We're right now, like I said, the military legally classifies me as being colorblind, but I'm pretty sure this is yellow right here. So we still have a long way to go right here. And then this is a lagging indicator. To be fair and honest, this is a lagging indicator. So usually when this does cross, it already is shown like we've already topped out, but we're still 10% away from this move right here. And I'm not a big pie circle top indicator kind of guy. Relatively accurate, but and then here's the logarithmic growth curves. And basically, like I said, I talk about this way too much. You guys, if you don't know what's going on, you need to sub to the channel, and then you'll know what's going on. Turn on notifications. Make sure you're watching these videos, so I don't have to keep repeating myself, because this is all very old information that I think we've covered on the channel like 3 times at this point. But these charts all work as with indicators. So this one specifically, as you can see by the legend, yeah, it's called legend. These symbols basically are Fibonacci areas right here, and as Bitcoin's price interacts with these different fib levels, they raise. You can see that they go up as time goes on, and that has to do with RSI, and that has to do with moving averages, which I'm not really going to get into because I've already covered it so much. But essentially, as Bitcoin consolidates, the more and more it validates the current prices. If Bitcoin just hits up immediately and starts going parabolic, that's going to make it our market top a lot smaller. It actually is better, believe it or not, it is actually better for us maybe to have a correction, consolidate for a second, and then move higher. Believe it or not, because of the way the moving averages work, and like how you see on the weekly heat map. Like for example, just taking a look at this chart right here. It's not showing the price action. It looks like it's just showing a picture. It's lagging. But as you can see, it's curved. It curves up. So if we were to top out today, which is not going to happen, which I've covered a multitude of reasons why we're not just going to top out today. It's not possible. I mean, unless Google and Apple and Amazon and a few other companies put all their cash on. Well, Apple has a lot of cash, but yeah, if all the companies put all their cash on today, but that's not going to happen. Then we would top out today, and they would all have to come in at the same time. And a lot of them buy over the counter. So, but anyways, you have this right here, which would be our price target would be right around 16. Now, as we continue to progress, you can see that the number goes higher and higher as we go out into the further dates. If we were to consolidate, between these levels and then possibly come up at a higher date, you would have like almost a $500,000 Bitcoin. Why is that? Well, as a technical analysis expert, I can tell you it's because of moving averages, RSI, VPR, support, which we're not going to get into because I've covered it way too much. But it doesn't really matter. I can tell you the technicals, but it doesn't really matter. Basically, we're not even close to a top. And actually, a lot of people have inverse. My point is this: a lot of people have inverse thinking on Bitcoin because they just have no clue about how it actually works or whatever. If we were to just absolutely skyrocket up to 78,000, people would be so incredibly bullish, and that would be terrible for Bitcoin. So it's inverse thinking. You know, I was extremely bullish on it when it was 10,000 and I was dumping money into it. And now I see all these people that watch it go up. I saw a meme on it and it perfectly describes Bitcoin. It's like when Bitcoin's $1,000, when it's $10,000, when it's $100, nobody wants it. And then the second it hits 100,000, everybody's like, take my money, and like, I gotta dump the whole house into Bitcoin. It just hit 100,000, when obviously that would be the worst time to. So everybody has backwards thinking. And so my point is that you need to correct your thinking and realize that consolidation is good. And actually, if we were to come down and hit some of these lower bands and then consolidate, that would be a lot better long term for Bitcoin. And there is no chart that's showing, there's no like reasonably accurate chart that's showing that we're even close to a top right now on any single reasonable chart. And so I really shouldn't have to cover that, but I get messages all the time. Are we at the top? Are we at the top? I had people when it was 20,000 saying it was the top. I had people that were like, I was here in 2017 and this happened before and the whole market's about to dump. It's like, dude, you obviously didn't learn market cycles back when you were in 2017. You had 3 or 4 years to learn. You obviously, came back to crypto and you have no clue what you're talking about. You just came back with your PTSD because you bought at the top. But yeah, this we're looking good. Again, it's an uptrend. I looked at it on the hourly chart, and I have consolidation patterns drawn on the hourly, but none of them are technical analysis. Like I said, we're not Carl the Moon's Telegram group. Carl, if you're watching this, which I know you're not because we have like 5 subscribers, and we're calling the TA accurately, like perfectly. And so obviously we're way more underrated than you, but you got to take care of your Telegram group, bro. You got to take care of it because all these little dudes are losing so much money. So like in Carl the Moon's Telegram group, you'll see something like this. And I need to draw it like this because a lot of my subscribers have no clue. They'll see something like this. I seriously have subs that will get mad at me, like when they're like, I just want to trade the market every single second, and I don't know anything about TA, but I just want to trade it every single second. I'm like, that's not a good idea. And they're like, I hate you. You're the worst channel ever. I'm like, I really couldn't care less if you hate me. I'm saving you a stupid amount of money. You see that we called the bottom right there? That takes time and skill to learn. So you'll see something like this on like one of Carl the Moon's Telegram groups. And it'll be like consolidation pattern about to break down, and you have to have 3 touch points. You have to have 3 touch points for it to be a valid pattern. This has 1, 2 touch points. So what's anybody stopping from going right here and putting, there's 1 touch point right there. There's 3 touch points right there. Right. Boom. That's more accurate right there. But if you have 2 touch points, you can draw 2 touch points anywhere. You can take this touch point and put it with this touch point. Like you can just put 2 points on the graph anywhere, obviously. And then the other thing you have to realize is this is the 1 hour chart. Should you trade anything based off the 1 hour chart? I mean, if you're really thirsty for trades, but like what we say, we don't just teach TA on the channel. We teach you exactly what you need to know. And TA can be done on any time frame, but if you're doing TA on the 1 minute chart, it's not going to be as prominent as if you do it on the daily chart. Does that make sense? It's the correct information, so it doesn't matter if it makes sense. That's what you need to know. Just turned absolutely savage. I saved somebody so much money yesterday, and you didn't even say thank you. That's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm over here doing charity, trying to help people out, and saving people so much money. I didn't even say thank you. I think he was sad, because I told him he has to wait at least a month if he really goes hard learning TA before he should even start to make a trade, but he obviously had no clue what he was doing. That's just going to save him money. I mean, I don't remember how long it took me before I made my first trade, and I was using so low leverage and blah blah blah, and I was reading book after book after book. I was taking course after course after course, and I was studying literally 16-hour days. I don't think people realize 16-hour days, and like for months before I even made one trade. And guess what? That first trade was super profitable, and I didn't lose money. But I think he wanted me to say, oh yeah, you just like, it'll probably just take like an hour or two. Like you just go on Investopedia and like bang your head on the keyboard and then you'll learn everything in like 3 minutes. I think that's what he wanted to hear. But it's just better that he hears the truth and doesn't lose money. Alright, so let's take a look at this right here, because this is really what everybody in the space was missing, and this is why we're the best channel by far, at least the most underrated. We're gonna hit that level perfectly. If I don't call the price action like almost every second, like, oh my gosh, it's literally like Money Machine. I was freaking out. I was literally almost crying in Buffalo Wild Wings last night because I just kept like every single chart, every single call. I was like, oh, Link's going here, ETH's going here, Uni's going here, and we just hit everything perfectly. I was just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And I was almost crying, and I had to close my laptop, and I told my friend, I'm like, I want to talk about something else other than finances, because my head is just exploding with dopamine. And that was a real conversation I had last night. So we're looking at this double top right here. And then obviously we're clearly in a downtrend, and we covered all of this price action and obviously covered it 100% accurately. So really what we're looking at and what we're expecting on the charts is, this is on the 4-hour, this right here is on the 4-hour double top with the neckline that we have drawn, and then it's playing out on this short to medium term downtrend. We're expecting to at least have this measured move of the double top play out right here, and then as we go out to the daily, that'd be funny if somebody was like, calm down or whatever. It's like, we're so underrated. Like, we'll calm down like when we get the respect that we clearly deserve. It's like, if you want respect, you gotta give respect, and this channel deserves a massive amount of respect. So we're looking at this level right here as a potential second double top play out. So a lot of times, especially in downtrends, what you'll see is you'll see a double top playing out on a double top. So that's what we have right here. So we have two targets, and it looks like our first target, and we called this a long time ago. I think, yeah, we were right here, and we called that we were going to go down to right here, and then we called that we were going to pit stop right here, and it looks like we're about to hit this area right here, and then potentially we could hit this area and then wick into this support box right here, and then this would be an area that we're looking at. And basically what I'm looking at is cost-based averaging in to an Ethereum long. So what this is, and this is what everybody in the space is missing, and why everybody's like, why is Ethereum not doing good? And it's because they're not looking at the charts. And actually, we covered this for 3 or 4 days, and then finally, one of the biggest channels, Crypto Zombie finally covered this graph for like a second. It's like, thank you. I'm like, can I just take like half your subs? I love Crypto Zombie. He definitely deserved them, but like, can I just take half your subs and we'll answer all their questions? But yeah, we just broke that line, so we're just killing it. So yeah, this is the projected move. It's just crazy. So this is a fib extension area on this extremely important, what is this, trend-based fib. And then really what we're looking at here is, where are we going to long Ethereum? Because we have on one side, we have the fundamentals of Ethereum extremely strong. And when you look at, usually Ethereum, because it's higher risk, will outperform Bitcoin. So Bitcoin might do a 4x, and then Ethereum might conservatively do something like a 6x just in general, or an 8x. And that's not what we've been seeing this cycle. And you guys know that we called Cardano, and it's up 24% today. I was like, I'm looking at getting some more Cardano, and then I said that, and then it went up 24%. Like, sometimes I literally just have to take a stop from trading at this point and just calm myself down, because it's literally like I win the lottery like every single day, just constantly calling everything perfectly. But yeah, so we were talking about Cardano and how it was a decent accumulation spot. And we accumulated a lot at 10 cents, and we called the best cryptocurrency in the entire space a little bit earlier this year. And we're like, we're not really looking to pick up. And then there were retracements, there were pumps that didn't have any fundamentals behind it, and we had those coins staked, and we had like 920 something percent on top of whatever we had staked, and we were doing incredible. And then we accumulated again just recently for the first time, and then as soon as we accumulate, it hits a massive pump. And then actually on Polkadot, we'll look at that in a second. I actually called the top on Polkadot too. And I kind of went over yesterday why it was the top. Well, like before, like it was a prediction, and then obviously on this channel, because we're always right, we actually called the top on Polkadot. But I'll take a look at that graph in a second. So really what we're looking at here with Ethereum is, and I talked about Ethereum a lot before, so like you just need to sub to the channel and watch the videos. But I had a bullish case for Ethereum, even though Cardano and Ethereum are competing for the same thing. Again, like I always talk about, it's the cryptocurrency paradox. And Cardano is still positioned to do incredible, even though Ethereum's still positioned to do incredible, even though Cardano is by far the more superior cryptocurrency. And there's always these big guys. All these big guys are like, oh, Cardano's not established and it doesn't have any dApps built on the application and it's speculative. And it's like, those 100 lines of code are not speculative. The fact that it has interconnectability with the entire Ethereum network is not speculative. They're literally suppressing the price, whether they know it or not, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And when Crypto Love, one of the biggest channels on cryptocurrency, was saying Cardano's a bubble or Cardano's this, we absolutely destroyed him, coming at him, because I know he holds it. He's literally just fighting the price for no reason whatsoever. It's like, what is your problem, dude? And on this channel, we're obviously for the people, and we're not going to FUD the price. We're not going to tell you a bunch of crap. We're going to tell you exactly. And you have a Cardano army. I was commenting Cardano army so much, you know, back when it was like 10 cents, back when stage 1 and stage 2 with Shelly was going on. And it was just so obvious because you can't fudge the numbers on that. You can't fudge the numbers on the code. It's code. It's blockchain code. It's coded. Factor in the price. Obviously, it was heavily undervalued. But anyway, so my main opportunity, because we always give you the best opportunities in cryptocurrency every single time. We're looking at hitting this level, and then I'm looking at cost base averaging in, either buying or longing at this potential. Not all my position. Whenever I hear people talk about longing, they're always longing their entire position, and it's like ridiculous. Because that just you know, you might say that like, oh, like you're being arrogant right now talking about how you called everything. Well, I'm just telling you I called everything. What's arrogant is if you were to long your entire position based off of one chart or whatever. That's arrogant in the sense that you're um you're overestimating your own ability in the market. And I see that with everybody, not me. I see that with everybody. And at that point, a lot of people just lose money doing that. So we're going to cost base average in because we're humble, and we're not going to pretend that we can just call the market every single time and that there's not going to be outside factors that are going to interfere with our trading, because there can be. So we're going to cost base average in, maybe cost base average in on a wick, cost base average in, and then like I said before, if we could hit this level right here, or potentially this level right here, where is it exactly? Let me go to the daily chart. I think it is this level right here. Yeah, if we could hit this level right here and hit this wick and get a nice bounce, that would be absolutely legendary Ethereum long, because you have the fundamentals, you have the chart, you have the community, you have everything bullish on Ethereum. The one puzzle piece that everybody's missing is this chart that I'm showing you right here on this channel. I mean, you can like the video or you cannot. I don't care. I don't mind being the most underrated channel on the entire internet. But the point is this. Because like I say all the time, I'd rather be underrated than overrated. The fact that we only have like 95 subs, and I love all my 95 subs, but the fact that we only have 95 subs and we're outperforming every single crypto channel on the entire internet, like that's legendary. That's legendary. That's legendary. But that's because I came in as an extremely profitable trader. I didn't go into YouTube looking to make money. I came into YouTube looking to help people because I was already making a bunch of money. I'm here to help, not the other way around. But so if we were to hit this area right here, this would be a low, and then this would be a higher low right here, and this would entirely validate this uptrend still. And these double tops would have played out. Like this would just literally be the most legendary position. Now, if we were to break this area and we were to invalidate these lows, then again, you would have, you know, almost like a double top idea, almost like this in and of itself, where you're breaking the lows and, you know, the mid to short term uptrend, which would be huge in a negative way. But at the same time, you know, at this point, we'd be so overextended that we could wick it. Either way, we're going to be covering everything. Like I said, I want to see this target. It looks like we're guaranteed going to hit it. It looks like we just wicked it. And I mean, we wick all the time. We wick it. We're in a downtrend. We're most likely, as according to all the fundamentals in TA, we're most likely going to hit this level, start cost base averaging in very smallly into this Ethereum position. yeah, that guy didn't say thank you to me when I saved him so much money on Bitcoin. I could just turn off my laptop and trade myself, and I'm still gonna retire this year either way. I'm just trying to help out. You could at least say thank you. It's like literally like you can't say anything. It's like, anybody that's worth 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, whatever. At the end of the day, I'm making all this money and I'm giving back, trying to help people out. If there's anybody out there making stupid bans and they're not helping out, like they're just being, greedy, whatever. Let's see, Bybit, Coinbase, Kraken. Where's our, it should be on Bybit, yeah. That's where our good chart is. Did it, what the heck? We just had that massive consolidation triangle that we were looking, or that massive consolidation pattern that we were looking at, the ascending channel. What chart was that on? It's not USDT, we don't do that. It was on a, oh, it's because it says USDT? Is that why? It should be, is it on Coinbase? No. How do we lose this chart? It's not, is it on Bitchmex? Bitchmex? Where'd it go? Fibonacci? Where'd that channel go? Bybit? We literally were just showing it earlier. I thought I clicked on Bybit. So weird. Okay. So again, this is going to be a massive opportunity right here. We're not there yet, and like I said, we saved you guys from getting destroyed if you listened. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. It's not funny. Literally, people are getting destroyed out in these markets because they're not subbed to our channel, and that's not even capping. There's so many people that follow Carl the Moon's channel. There's so many people, and they just get destroyed, and they have no clue what they're doing on these long positions. So we're looking for an opportunity out of this breakout. If the price action was to come down to this level, which I don't think is possible, but if it was, this would be a massive opportunity right here to at least buy. For me personally, because like on this channel we talk about everything, like you have to know. We don't just break down the charts because anybody could break down the charts. Nobody really cares about anybody breaking down the charts. We tell you when to buy, when to long, when to do everything. We tell you our entire portfolio. We tell you everything with 100% accuracy and the best opportunities in crypto. So like personally, if it came down right here, and I always tell you what I personally do. I don't hear any YouTuber saying, oh, I'm buying this percentage, I'm buying that percentage. So personally, what I would do is if we did hit this level, which would be absolutely insane, and it is in this channel, so it is a possibility. But if we were to hit this level, or possibly like you see right here, this TA is gorgeous, man. I mean, if I haven't hit like every single bottom, this is just insane. Look how gorgeous that is. But if we were to hit like a fractal idea like this, which I think would be more likely, I would cost base average into a position, buy, not long, because we've already talked about that multiple times on the channel. I would buy in right here, and then buy in right here. And then potentially if we were to close above this channel and we got our confirmations that we talk about on this channel, which is going to save us from getting wrecked like all the other channels, then we'll blast off. With me adding most of my position if we do hit a bullish retest and then confirm on a wick. This would be an incredible opportunity. And getting a measured move, you measure the entirety of the channel, this is clearly an ascending channel, and you get the measured move right up to about 24K. And then we can look at Fibonacci extension levels, but more so than anything, Fibonacci extension levels are just going to be take profit areas, whereas this is still going to be the measured move. So according to technical analysis and what we would do, because like again, we don't go off of opinions, we don't go off of, you go off of opinions, oh but BitBoy said it was going to go up, you're just going to get wrecked. I promise you, you're just going to get wrecked. We only go off of TA here. We leave the emotions out. You never trade with emotions. So we don't care. What you can do, if you still have a position open right here, we'll take profits on the Fibonacci extensions that we're about to go over. And then if you want, you can put your stop loss at this measured move. And so if we go higher, basically you get stopped out right there, and then you can take higher targets. But that's not recommended. What's recommended is that you just complete the trade as the trade is, because once you start going past this measured move and you're like, oh well, I want to leave some on the table, you can leave some on the table and let your winners ride. There's not a problem with that, especially if the volume's there. It might not make sense to take profits. It will just depend on what we're looking at on the volume charts. We might breeze past this level, I doubt it, but just because of how overextended we are riding the real outside of this channel right here. But what you could do is you could leave some on the table and we'll let it ride. That's not what we recommend. What we recommend is taking at this point all your profits should be taken on the trade, and then you're getting paid out in Ethereum. So even if the price continues higher, which over the long term it obviously will, you still make money on your profits because you're not getting paid out in dollars, you're getting paid out in Ethereum, according to all the exchanges that I know about. So just opportunities on opportunities. So let's take a look at those Fibonacci extension levels that we were talking about, and let's really go over how you would look at something like that. So we're going to go with Femex. And we're going to take off high Fibonacci candlesticks. So we're going to go regular candlesticks. And then we want to go to, there's a few ways of looking at this. We're going to go to the weekly chart. And then we're going to zoom in on the weekly chart. We're on Femex right now, and there's a decent amount of liquidity, so this is fine. And then what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be zooming in. And we're going to be looking for the swing low to swing high based off of key fundamentals. So it looks like very clearly, you see that this is probably right here, the swing low. This is pretty much right here, a very relevant swing low, because like I said, anybody can learn technical analysis. What really comes in with being a technician is being able to look at the different parts on the chart and know exactly where the most major areas are. So this is on the weekly. So we're going to take this Fibonacci retracement tool on the weekly. So this is one of the most important time frames, and you can clearly see at this point we have this blow off top before going lower. So this is definitely going to be the high right here, and then this area right here is clearly the low, if you can see this wick right here. And then that gives us a Fibonacci extension that we almost hit perfectly right here. So this gives us a really good starting target. And then this would give us another target that we will definitely come back to. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Fibonacci level right here, and we're going to put a horizontal line right here. And we're going to make it a little bit smaller. And then we're going to delete this Fibonacci area because we got the extended move. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get another Fibonacci extension tool. And this is how you do technical analysis. A lot of people reach out to me. They say, can you teach me technical analysis? Watch this video. You're learning it live. People say, well, I want to know where the price is, but I also want to learn. All right, watch my videos. All right, so the next one that we're going to be looking at is down here. So we're going to go and we're going to look at the price action. We're going to take off these moving averages right here, because this just makes it confusing. We really want to, these aren't useful right now when we're pulling up the Fibonacci extension. Let's see, take off super trend. All right, there we go. So we're taking a look at these graphs right here, and it's very clear that, you know, this is really just a consolidation off of this move. So we don't want to take a wick off of this move, because this is clearly a move from this area over here. So it looks like very clearly you can see that this is the bottom. Can you see that when it takes an eye, it takes like a science, but you can clearly see that this was the bottom, and then we moved up, and then, you know, we came up, and then we came down. This is clearly an extremely relevant point. So again, anybody can take a swing low to swing high, but you really need to look at what's relevant, and it's very clear that this is the bottom right here. So we're going to take that area right there. And we're just going to put that as the bottom. So we have that as the bottom. And then we want to look, okay, where's a really good top? And as you can see, the prices starts right here, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up. And then right here, if you can see, is right when we have this wick. So this is exactly where you want to put the top of this Fibonacci extension. And this gives us our next price target. So people always say, like, where do I go to learn TA? Sub to the channel. Alright, so those are two price targets that we now have that are extremely relevant off of the weekly chart. And those are probably the two most significant areas. Because, I mean, you can take this swing low to this swing high. You can take all of those. But really, this is definitely the bottom. And then we go up here, and then we have a massive wick down. So what would we do right here? We would take a look at this area right here, this swing low. And there's a lot to this type of technical analysis. I mean, it's just technical analysis, but what you could call it is Fibonacci retracement clusters. So you have this right here, this swing low, and then this, like, right here is clearly the swing high. So swing high, swing low, very clear. Because right here you have this ginormous swing low, so you have the price come up and then it drops all the way down here. This is definitely the swing low. Then it comes up, and so this is the high, and then it comes down. So this is clearly the relevant high. And it looks like we hit this area and broke it, and then the next area would be right here. So what we do, so we don't cluster up our charts, because there's actually something called Fibonacci retracement clusters, but we're not trying to do that. And we just hit that Fibonacci extension right there. And so now we have multiple different targets. So then when we're looking at taking that trade, we can take profits, we can take profits, we can take profits based off how the charts are looking, and we can scale out of our position. So now coming back to our other chart right here, take a look at Bybit. You have this right here, which we were talking about earlier. And so when the price action breaks out of here and we go higher, we have those targets all the way up into our measured move on the lines we just covered. Alright, let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. But that's essentially how you would do that. So again, we have these fib extensions right here. And the reason these are so important, because Bitcoin perfectly hit this. At this point, it's above it. But because it perfectly hit this area, it's most likely going to perfectly hit this area. And if it perfectly hits this area, it's most likely. Because the second that price action starts interacting with these extension levels or any technical indicator, the more and more it validates it and brings it to everybody's attention that, hey, this is an important technical that we need to be looking at. So like I said, it's consolidating right now, and I said that, and I said, you know, it could go up, it could go down. This is looking nice. I like this a lot, and if we could get a wick right here, essentially you have what's called a hammer formation, and it's a continuation up. It's the opposite of a morning star formation, which would be essentially marking the top. You usually want to see these on the bottom of the pattern, so you'd want to see them down here and then a continuation up. But if we see this close like this and then a continuation up, it's the same. Lots of buying demand. Basically, the price went up or went down, but then there was buying demand to keep it up. It's just a good pattern, bullish pattern. If we get a close anywhere around there, let's see. Let's go to XLM. I had some really good charts on XLM that I wanted to look at, and then I'll start taking comments. So if you have any comments, let me know. Like if you have any questions, or yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. Yeah, I really liked this a lot, how it just perfectly broke out of that wedge. And then, yeah, we were going over this idea earlier about this cup and handle. Again, it's a very sloppy cup and handle, with this essentially being the start to the handle, and then this would be the other part to the handle. And then you would want to see a break right here, although the price action usually will come up right here. So it's a very sloppy cup and handle. Really what I think more than anything, it's a parabolic curve, and this is literally a parabolic curve. And when I say parabolic curve, like when you say like the price goes up parabolically, we can actually chart that, and this actually is a parabolic curve chart. And it looks like it broke this parabolic curve. And what we were looking for, as we broke the parabolic curve, we hit a downtrend. And then what we were looking for, we pulled up this Fibonacci extension, or Fibonacci trend-based tool right here. So it's the opposite of a Fibonacci retracement used to measure if we're going to continue out of a downtrend. And we hit this area right here, this golden pocket area, bounced off of this, which was bullish. We also bounced out of this area right here, which was bullish, because on the higher time frames, this is the macro Fibonacci retracement. And what you want to see out of a retracement is you want to see the price come above this area and break through it, which we did see, which was good. On the lower time frames, we did see this break, which is good. And then basically to negate this idea of this downtrend that you see very clearly right here on this wedge formation that we had drawn out, we got the clear breakout, and then we hit this level. We hit it as resistance. We tested it a lot perfectly. It looks like we climbed up this. This is the Bollinger Band, so this is the SMA, simple moving average. We hit this a few times on the 4-hour, which was really relevant, and then we're continuing higher. Again, you have something almost like a hammerhead formation or a hammer stick pattern. And really what we're looking at right now is, you know, we hit this multiple times, and what we're looking at is, let's see, you have this 1, 2, 3, yeah, so we're looking at breaking this line, and that's why I have it drawn right here. There is resistance, and it looks like resistance, but if we do hit this line, the significance of why this is a fat white line is because if we do break that area, then it does essentially start to invalidate the idea that this is a continuation of the downtrend, and it looks like a reversal out of the downtrend, possibly going back to validating this parabolic curve. And so next we would be looking at breaking like this candlestick and obviously setting a new all-time high, and then that would be extremely bullish. So we're just kind of taking it level by level right now, and this is the level we're looking at to potentially invalidate this downtrend, and then this would be the level, and this would be the level to start playing out potentially this cup and handle that's extremely sloppy, if not just at a higher high to continuate this obvious uptrend. Alrighty, and that's just kind of like the basics. And then obviously we did call this price action right here. We called the top on the Fibonacci extension, and it hit it like nearly perfectly. You see that's Fib. So yeah, we had some incredible calls on XLM, and that's really what I'm looking at in my technical analysis. I don't really think anything else is relevant, but that's what I'm looking at on XLM, and that's what I want to see for me to continue to be bullish. All right. Where do you think the price of XLM could get to? Yeah, I'll definitely cover that. I actually do have some extremely accurate fib extensions, so let me cover that. And then what does it say? Anything to say about VeChain? I really like VeChain, and I'll talk about it right after, but I'm very bullish on VeChain, and I was a massive supporter of VeChain, Dot, and Cardano a few months ago before everybody was really talking about it. And I'll get to the bullish, the bearish. I'll get to everything on VeChain. I haven't looked at it in a second, but last time I checked, it was undervalued, and it's definitely a coin that I do hold. I was actually upset with. I'm gonna get to that Fibonacci extension, but while I'm getting to that, I was very upset with my VeThor holdings that I had. I think I've been holding VeChain for a while, and I do like how you stake. So these are potential price targets. You have this one, you have this one, and then significantly what you really want to look at, because I have all these charted out, but what you specifically want to look at when you're looking at XLM is we perfectly hit this area right here. This is a Fibonacci extension. This is the first Fibonacci extension, and we actually perfectly charted this Fibonacci extension. And the relevancy to that is if we hit this level perfectly, this right here topped out perfectly, the potential for it to come up and hit this level before again topping out makes the most sense. Because like I said, if a indicator or a technical is constantly being hit, it continues to validate it. So because we already validated this extension right here perfectly, the next most likely move would be to 94 cents in the relevant term. And then these are some of the other targets I have right here. And we would basically be taking it extension by extension. But yeah, 94 cents is probably the most relevant target that you can chart on the charts right now for a potential move. Okay, so VeChain, you know, if you know the technology behind the blockchain, essentially you have the founders of the VeChain, like the people that created it. What they do is you can validate products. So a big problem that they have in China is they have all these fake products, and the solution that VeChain offers is essentially having a barcode with the validation of like the product. So you scan a barcode and it'll tell you about the product, and it'll tell you if the product's real, and basically you pay in the VeChain tokens to validate products like that. It's a really good business model. And what I talked about a lot with VeChain is essentially it's one of those tokens that has a legitimate ecosystem. You have legitimate business model. You have people paying in VeChain tokens. You have something that's actually valuable, and then you have people that are you have businesses that actually want to use this technology, so they're going to be paying in VeChain tokens. You have people that are staking it, validating on the network. You have a functional ecosystem. The real question you want to ask yourself is, okay, you know, you have a business model, you have, you know, a product that's useful, you have all these things. So what's the evaluation? What's the intrinsic value? What's the monetary incentive that we can get on a token like this? How do you measure it? And cryptocurrency being so new, It's very hard to find an intrinsic value on a business model like this. But the fact that Bitcoin's backing it up and altcoins are pumping and all these different things, it really just comes down to like partnerships and really just bullish move to perpetuate this idea. But it's definitely not a crap coin. It definitely has potential. And one of the other things that I want to talk about like very quickly on VeChain is when like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, probably 4 months ago at this point, it was running very strongly with Cardano and Polkadot. I'll go over the Polkadot chart as I'm talking, but it was running very strongly with Cardano and Polkadot. They were both up around 150%, and then VeChain actually, and I actually said back then, I said, you know, VeChain's not really up to that level where it should be running with Polkadot and Cardano, but Cardano and Polkadot have just absolutely slept them. So I was like 100% accuracy in that prediction. But at this point, I think that, so yeah, it hit this Fibonacci extension level. What I would want to see with the DOT is I would want to see it hit this level and then bounce higher. That would be an opportunity potentially. But so with VeChain, they were all running together. And then they broke away, and I called that breakaway, and I thought that, you know, because VeChain is good and it has the tokenomics and, you know, the economic, like the like tokenomics, and then like the economy within its however you would say it. Oh, I didn't even remember having this chart pulled up on VeChain, but yeah, it's a good token. I think it's undervalued. I don't know what the current, how much it's up compared to Cardano. And oh, I called it back here. I was looking at it and I was like, this thing looks really undervalued. And then it just shot up a couple weeks ago. So I think we already missed like the big pump that I was looking for, but we still haven't hit this extension that I was looking at right here. So this would be my current price target for it. Again, like I usually will like look at a cryptocurrency and be like, oh my gosh, this is undervalued or whatever, and I'll give you the opportunities. And really we started looking at it around here and it was massive opportunity. And before this, I think I was a little bit late to it, and I even said I was a little bit late to it, and late to it in retrospect. I've had it for a long time, but we definitely talked about this pump before it happened, and then I lost brain cells just calling that pump. At this point, I think it's at this point, like looking, because I'm not very up to date on VeChain because it's just a relative holding. I'm like a very, very big Cardano guy. And most of my focus is on ETH right now because I trade a lot of ETH, especially on this channel. But with VeChain, like I don't think it's a crap token, and I think that it's definitely going to hit this Fibonacci extension level. And I like and the most positive thing I can say about it really is, besides, you know, that it has a functioning business model and that there's actual real value there. I do like the fact that it's so ridiculously easy to stake. Now, most people don't know how to set up wallets, which is going to be a barrier to entry. But I mean, you can't really stake anything without a wallet. Like, I think Cardano setting up a wallet on Ada Lite is a little bit, Ada Lite IO is a little bit easier. But once you have the wallet set up on Sync, which is going to be where you stake your VeChain, the fact that you can just stake your VeChain on that wallet and then that wallet will start passively earning you staking rewards, that's incredible. I really like that. You guys know that, you know, staking on DOT is horrible, and I think I'm the only YouTuber that really covers it. I don't even really want to call myself a YouTuber. I'm just like a crypto enthusiast that just wanted to really talk about crypto and help people out. I don't really want to call myself a YouTuber because I only have like 90 subs or something. But that's my opinion on VeChain. Let's see. XLM is hovering a little by little. I was wondering if XRP lawsuit is affecting XLM's price because of the uncertainty. Yeah, I think it is, even though they shouldn't be correlated. So XRP, I haven't really looked into it a massive amount, but XRP and XLM historically have been highly correlated just in their price, and then it looks like they have started to possibly break correlation with the XRP lawsuit. But yeah, I think the whole space is kind of thinking this, and again, I understand the XRP army, and I understand the overall community, and I think the best. I can't say financial advice, but my supposed opinion, but it's not really an opinion. My best per se opinion would be, with the XRP lawsuit, I'm staying out of Ripple. I have a very, very, very small position in it, even to begin with. I think it's extremely high risk, extremely high reward on the most favorable standards of, if major banks were to incorporate this technology, which is a lot of hopium to begin with. And so I understand both sides of the argument, but it makes most sense. I guess you would have to say, in my opinion, legally, it makes most sense, in my opinion, to stay out of XRP until the lawsuit uncertainty is covered up, like until like it's clarified. And then if you were to potentially wanting to get into XRP, you would wait till after the lawsuit, and I think there would be some coverage. I think that money would start flowing back into it. Another thing you would want to see is you want to see exchanges start listing it again. That would be bullish. But for me, XRP has always been extremely high risk, extremely high reward. And we did have that massive pump, and there is a community behind it, and a lot of the newer guys are kind of thinking that with XRP, they're kind of thinking that it's a crap coin, and the lawsuit did definitely put a chink in its armor. But to me, it just makes it extremely high risk, extremely high reward. I have a fairly large crypto portfolio. I'm very involved in the space, and I believe in it. I have like 0.00 something 1%, I think, in XRP, and I don't think I would ever put more than 1% in XRP regardless, just because again, it's very high risk, very high reward. And I think everybody in the space is kind of thinking, well, XLM, like, Ripple is really supposed to be a cross border payment method, and XLM is very fast, and it's, the same founders that were working on XRP. So I think, to your point, a lot of people are looking at XLM and saying, okay, well, this is the conservative, this is a newer gen technology. I believe it's a third gen crypto, whereas I believe XRP is a one or a two gen. So, but XLM by far I know is a newer technology, has the same one of the same founders who went up and started it, and they're very professional in the way that they conduct everything. And whereas Ripple Labs is, and I get that they're not connected, and they are connected. I get that we've talked about it a lot on the channel. I don't really want to go into it, but basically what I'm saying is that I think everybody is looking at XRP and saying, well, XLM is basically the conservative play on that cross-border payments method. And when we go into diversifying a portfolio, yes, on cross-border payment methods, as far as speedy transactions, heck no, I'm not going with something like Dash. I hate Dash. I don't buy crap coins. I don't care if they have the potential to pump. I do not want to be left holding a bag, and that just comes with like veteran experience in the market. So I do have a small amount of XLM, and I think that it is a large cap with, some potential as opposed to XRP, and then potentially, seeing how XRP interacts with this lawsuit. Potentially you could put some of your XLM holdings into XRP. Like for me, it's basically like, obviously store of value is obviously Bitcoin. As far as like the future of applications, I do have a lot of Ethereum right now, just because, and I go over my portfolio all the time because you guys need to know this stuff. Like the fact that other channels don't, it's just because they're scared if they say their portfolios. But I know my portfolio is killer, so I just want to share it with you and provide the most amount of value. So I do hold quite a bit of Ethereum, and that has been performing really good. And we've gone over the Bitcoin to Ethereum comparative chart, which is going to be absolutely massive once we get that flip. which we've been talking about a lot on this channel. But Bitcoin as store of wealth long term. Cardano is going to take over as the decentralized applications. And I did say the bullish argument for Ethereum, but when you look at like growth, when you look at, all the different underlying factors, Cardano long term, Bitcoin as long term. So like when you talk about diversification, you don't want to just have like Ethereum, DOT, and Cardano. That's what everybody makes it seem like, but it doesn't make sense. When Warren Buffett talks about diversification, he's not saying just buy a bunch of random stocks so that you diversify. What he's saying is diversify into different sectors, different market sectors, because different market sectors perform differently. So you don't want to take like a bunch of, just random stocks. You want to get the best performing stock in the market sector, and by far the best performing sector for store of wealth is Bitcoin. That spot is taken. The best performing sector, in my opinion, for cross-border payment methods is XLM. Although I'm not ridiculously bullish on it, I think it's high risk, high reward regardless. And as far as Cardano goes, I think Cardano is the best long-term decentralized or DApp, building platform for a lot of these new blockchain technologies. And then what would some other ones be? And then there's just some other ones, but those are the main three biggest bullish things that you have to look at. And like I said, you don't want to really diversify, because why would you diversify when you can just put your money into the best performing? If you know what's going to perform the best, why wouldn't you put your money into that? And people say, well, Warren Buffett said about diversification, and he said for different sectors. So I'm using so the VThor, it's a very small amount. It has gone up a lot in market value, and I think it's because it takes so long to accumulate. I have a very small amount of this, and I have a relative amount of VThor that I've been staking for a long time. But yeah, I do like VET. Not a crap coin. And really the way that I see like VET, and the way that I see, what's another one? The way that I see Link, and I mean Link is definitely the decentralized oracle, but like I said, like with the competition and all the new competition it's working on and stuff. The way that I see Link, the way that I see VET, the way that I see a lot of these other coins is like, when you have like Uniswap, for example, like who's going to take the place of Uniswap? Like people are like, well, there's Sushi Swap and it's cheaper, but you're never going to get the micro caps. You're never going to get all those micro caps. You're never going to get the same liquidity. You're never going to get the price match on liquidity for staking. Uni offers like a 0.3% on liquidity, whereas Sushi offers a 2.5 or 0.25%, 0.25% liquidity stake. There's just no competition. I mean, it seems like there's no competition. Uniswap is by far the best DEX, decentralized DEX. And they say Binance, but obviously, like we talked about before, and I see the biggest channels now talking about this. It's not a decentralized application. It's centralized when you talk about Binance. And people, when they're investing in cryptocurrency, they want to invest in cryptocurrency. They want to invest in blockchain tech. And so Uniswap, obviously, and people complain about gas fees, and we talked about this. And once Uniswap goes on Cardano network, and the scalability and the fractional, like how much it's going to cost, like for fees and like gas, it's going to be it's the long-term play. And I've gone into this a long time. And I was freaking out a few days ago, like how is Uniswap not up more? And then obviously it pumps like 5 or 7%. And I gave the bullish argument and the bearish argument, and they were both bullish. So yeah, I mean, like with all the other coins, so like when you talk about VeChain, really what it means to me is with VeChain, it's like it's not a crap coin. So if I can get a good deal on it, I'll pick some up. If I can get a good deal on Link, I'll pick some up. But with in consideration to what's going on with the decentralized oracles and the competition. With Uniswap, if I get a good deal on it, I'll pick some up. So that's kind of because really all you need like long term is, in my opinion, and I have to say my opinion, but Bitcoin and Cardano. And people thought I was crazy when I was talking about so good about Cardano at 10 cents. People thought I was insane. Now it's one of the best performing, but it's like it's not just that Cardano hit a 10x. It's that it's so ridiculously high market cap, which gives it so little risk. And the fact that it 10x'd when it's already one of the top cryptocurrencies is absolutely like, you can have like, anybody can call a freaking little micro cap 10x, but the risk to reward ratio on that is ridiculously crap. Whereas, Cardano is definitely the best call of the year. And I still am very firm on it. I'm still very firm on it, and I do not want to sell it this market cycle. I think that would be a crime, and really, it just speaks to like, I don't want to say ignorance, but I really do think ignorance if you sell Cardano this market cycle. I think you're never going to see prices on Cardano this cheap again. And as the mainnet launches, and as you get all these partnerships, and everybody, I'm telling you, everybody wants to go over to Cardano. All these different applications are all like begging to go over to Cardano. Most of them, I think Charles Hawkinson said something like 73% of dApps or something wanted to switch over to Cardano. Like it's just going to destroy ETH. I think that ETH is, but then, I talk about the bullish argument too, because I'm not like people say like, oh, you're a Cardano fanboy. Like, everybody's a Cardano fanboy at this point. I was calling it at 10 cents when I wasn't fanboying. It was just common sense. The bullish argument to ETH is that, we talk about the congestion in the network, and as more and more people start to go over to Cardano, the congestion in the Ethereum network isn't going to be as high as they work towards that ETH 2.0. So, we did launch the zero phase on ETH 2.0 staking, but there's multiple levels, and we're still working on scaling and things like that. But it will get scaled out, and you have like Matic, and I have like Unilayer, and just different things to help build another platform to scale while Ethereum is working on fully realizing ETH 2.0. But the bullish argument to Ethereum is that and to not just be a total degen and say, oh, well, Cardano is going to rule the world and stuff. I do think it's going to be the best. But the fact that because you have so many people going over to Cardano, it's going to clear up congestion. And then also we do know that there's a lot of tech being built into ETH 2.0, and it's not fully realized on mainnet, and we still do have Ethereum miners right now. So once we get some more, once development continues on Ethereum, gas fees, scalability, all those things will get better, on top of the fact that a lot of people are going to go over to Cardano, which is going to clear up the congestion. So I'm bullish on both of them, but long term, I just reasonably have to say Cardano and Bitcoin. And really, when you look at altcoins and when you look at Bitcoin and everything, like if you have Bitcoin as your store of value and then you have Cardano as your altcoin, whether alts do good, whether Bitcoin does good, like all you really need is that one altcoin, and all you really need is Bitcoin, in my opinion. Because like, let's say Bitcoin dominance just absolutely falls down, then you have Cardano that's going to be performing. Let's say that Bitcoin just explodes in price, then your Bitcoin holdings are going to do good. So I really do think that you only really need two tokens. But like I said, it's the paradox, and I do think that for sure ETH is going to be performing well. And like I said, the strategy, the portfolio is that we have a lot in ETH right now. I think those are going to go exponential gains once we hit that double top that nobody else on YouTube has been covering. And then once that does happen, and once we do start hitting like 2,500, 3,500, these bigger numbers, and we start going more parabolic on the ETH run, what I expect to happen is just massively outperforming every other cryptocurrency from a risk to reward ratio, because it's so undervalued right now. and then taking the Ethereum that we do have in our portfolio and then transferring it to Cardano is really the goal. Because I do still want to hold a little bit of ETH, and I still do want to hold a little bit of Bitcoin, obviously, and all that stuff. But right now, we're very transparent about our portfolio. And just like all the other experts in the space, we hold a lot of Ethereum. And I do want to de-risk that, off the top of my head, it might be 40 to 60%. And I say that a lot. I honestly don't know.